Good afternoon, Spartans. I hope this video tutorial finds you well. I hope you have been busy, but not too busy. These are interesting times that we are experiencing. So, you just have to make the best of it. Anyway, let's get down to business right now. This hopefully is something you recognize, or hopefully you can recognize who this might be. But I thought this would be fun. Try to attempt to do your own. Yes, this is Albert Einstein, in case you knew that. And if you didn't know that, well, maybe I didn't do such a good job. Well, I'm going to attempt to do another one. And so I'm hoping that whatever program you use, whether it's Photoshop or Pixlr or Photop or even GIMP, I hope that you'll be able to handle this. The thing is, I'm doing my best to try to find projects that will allow all programs to get this accomplished. All right, so without further ado, let's give it a try. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Photoshop and I'm going to open up a new file, and we're going to just use one of the default presets, or rather not the default, but one of the presets, and I'm going to use US paper. And you might recognize what US paper is. It's 8.5 by 11, your standard letter size. And we're going to just call this first initial last name. And I'm going to call it a portrait composite. And click OK. All right. Now, this tutorial is being done on my MacBook Pro. I don't normally use this, and I don't have a mouse, so I'm using the touchpad, which I'm not really comfortable with, but we'll give it a go. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and do a Google search. And so what I'd like you to do is, let's see, let me go to Google. I would like you to find a celebrity. Okay. It's got to be some type of celebrity that's fairly well known. Otherwise, you won't get many different photos. That's the goal. You got to get a lot of photos. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do Elvis Presley. And go to my images. And the first thing I want you to do is find one that is just standard portrait to serve as the background. So I think I'm going to use this one. Now you notice the format is landscape, whereas my starting point over here in Photoshop is a portrait style. But that won't matter, because we'll be able to adapt to it. So I'm going to copy the image, right click, and come over here now, and I'll just go ahead and do edit and paste. And of course the size is rather small, so I've got to go ahead and bring it up large. Now it's okay if my image gets cropped a little bit from the top of the head. Remember, this is just the background. So now I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to take off transform controls, And there I see in my layers palette. I could either merge it down or I can just keep it as is. I think I will merge it down, so I'll just go ahead and do Control E. On a Mac, it's Command E. Okay, and then all I need to do next is locate another one. And so that's what we do. We're just going to keep looking for different photos. And I'm going to keep all my photos black and white, but you can choose a combination, color, black and white. It's purely your decision. And what I'm going to do is locate features. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the image, and then I'm going to go ahead and do File, and I'm going to add a new document. And I'm just going to click OK. Notice it says clipboard. So this one is the exact dimension of the one I just copied. So I'm just going to click OK. I'm not going to title it. Let's see. There it is. It's having a little issues there. Okay. So the next step, let me just drag this out because what I need to do is get both of these, and this is what I was telling you about earlier, that I might have some issues. And let me see, let me just expand it here. I'm going to pause the video briefly. Okay, I'm back. Let me go ahead and go to View, Window, Arrange, and I'm going to tile up horizontal. No, I'd rather do tile up vertical. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a square. Now let me zoom in on this. And I'm going to use my rectangular marquee tool. And I'm going to hold down Shift because I want a perfect square. Now that looks like the same exact picture, doesn't it? Yep, I knew I had an issue here. Did not copy. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Not save. I'm going to pause the video and get the real one. Okay, I'm back. Yep, a little glitch. I think the my internet temporarily went out on me. Anyway, I'm going to take a square with my rectangular marquee tool. Again, hold down Shift and you get a perfect square. Now I'm going to take my Move tool. Really only two tools that we're going to use in this entire lesson. So watch what I do. I'm going to go ahead and drag it over onto. Now where did it go? And I think it's because it's so tiny. Look at that. Didn't even think I had copied this properly, but I did. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this new eye, hit Enter, and then just lay it over. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and just turn this eyeball off, and I'm just going to use this document for all the other ones that I copy. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my Safari and find another photo. And now look at the left eye right here. Control click. That's how I right click with my Mac. So I'm going to go back over here, and again I'm going to go on this side and paste. And there he is. So now I'm going to go back to my marquee tool, hold down Shift, and drag out a square. And then I take my move tool and bring it over. Now, you might notice that this is colorless. So how can that happen? Well, it has to do with the color properties of this file. So what I can do is I can go into image mode. You notice it says grayscale, so that's why the color is not being transferred. So what's happening is that color is just being translated into its grayscale properties. But I'm going to change that to RGB color, and I'm not going to flatten. So what we want to do is keep our layers intact, because that'll give us the opportunity to move these around if need be. Okay? All right. Now, the next time I copy this, in fact, I can do that right now. You notice it's color. But I'm going to just go ahead and keep what I have. And I'll just delete that one. So I'll just delete that layer. And I'll say, yes, delete layer 3. Now, my time is up to 11 minutes already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. And I'm going to come back, and you'll see that more has happened to this photo, to my project. Okay, so out of the interest of saving time, I'm going to pause and be right back. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see, I did add some color. And I'm not sure I like it, but it's okay. But I'm also adding a couple layer styles, actually just one. If you notice, I added a drop shadow to this layer. So if I turn this on and off, you can see I'm going to turn on the drop shadow. It's very subtle. It just allows just adds a little contrast. And so I did it here too. So there's my drop shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Alt key and click on the drop shadow, and I'm going to drag it up to layer 7 here. And what that does, the Alt key just goes ahead and copies it. And so you can do that again here too, to layer 1. And I think that's all I need. So what do we have here? I've got the mouth, the nose, 2 eyes, ears, along with the recognizable, what are those called? Sideburns. And then I also added part of his hair, because that feature is very Elvis. And that's what you want to do. You want to find those features that that are going to help us know who your celebrity is. Well, of course, we're going to know who your celebrity is, but we want to highlight those features that are going to maintain his identity, because as you know, as we sort of break his features apart, it could end up unrecognizable. And so that's my point. The point is, we don't want it unrecognizable. We want to maintain his identity during this what would we call this? Almost a deconstruction. Okay, so I think we're done, because I've got about 30 seconds left in the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoy the process. I hope you're able to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a classroom assignment and give you guys 24 hours. So let's try to turn this in by Thursday, 3 p.m. tomorrow. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and take care.